Okay, let's go over a few more interesting comparisons from JavaScript to Python. So in JavaScript, we can do this thing called object.freeze. And what that's going to do is it's going to take an object or an array, and it's going to say, I don't want you to be able to change this. So I have called object.freeze on my array, and changing would be something like this, changing the 0 index to be, instead of 1, be this number, okay? But I have frozen it, so this is not allowed. If I run it, you can see that the array is still the same. This index did not get changed. No error was thrown. This operation was just completely ignored. Okay, and sometimes that's useful if you just don't want things to be changed that might happen on accident or from a erroneous bug or error. Well, can we do that in Python? Yes, we can, but there's no object freeze. There is actually a specific data structure to handle this, and that is called a tuple. So we're going to create a tuple, which is pretty much exactly the same as a list, except it is immutable. It cannot be changed. We're going to do that by using parentheses instead of square brackets. If I print this out, we will see the output as being our array, 1 through 5. And I'm going to try and do the same exact thing as I did in JavaScript, which is to change the 0 index to something else. If I run that, we're going to get an error. So we say object does not support item assignment, and instead of it just ignoring this operation, it actually throws an error as compared to JavaScript. So instead of using object.freeze, we're going to use a tuple, and we have to be aware of the specific behavior. As JavaScript ignores a assignment attempt, Python throws an error. Okay, and let's look at one more thing, and that is the concept of a set. So I'm going to get rid of the object freeze. And the set is the concept of a list that cannot have duplicates. So in JavaScript, we can create a new set. This is a ES 2017 feature, so it's a little bit new. And all we do is create a new set object sending in an array. And the point of this is to not allow duplicates. So I'm going to put duplicate ones, and then I'm going to print out what we get. And we can see the set still only has unique values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't have the duplicate ones. Okay, that's the concept of a set, no duplicates. Now, the problem with this in JavaScript is it's not very convenient to use because it's not really an array. If I want to get the first thing out of there, which would just be the 1, I would think I could just use the index of 0, but no, I cannot do that. Sets are meant for iterating through. You can't just get one thing out of it, so it's not very convenient. You could just put this into an array or change this back into an array, but not very convenient in JavaScript. So that's fine. If you're not familiar with sets, you probably want to research that on your own. But I'm going to move back over to the Python world where sets are a lot easier to use. So I'm going to create a set. And again, a set is an array or a list that has no duplicates. To create one in Python, I'm going to use curly braces instead of brackets or instead of parentheses. So this is a place in Python where you do use curly braces. I'm going to say 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 to put duplicates that are hopefully removed. And so if I run that, we can see our set. It still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No duplicates in it. Okay. And so now I'm going to try and print out the first index of the set. And we do get an error. It says object is not subscriptable. It just means you can't do an index on the set, which is similar to JavaScript. But Python gives you a very handy function called list, in which you can change the set into a list very easily. And now you can do the index on it, and we can get that 1 out of there. Okay, that's it for tuples and sets.